record. Okay, that's recorded now. Okay, so share my screen again. Let's have a look at this. So can everyone see that?
Yeah.
Everyone see that?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just make it a little bit bigger. So we've done all the minor third and upper major second and down a major second things. What we're looking at today is transposing up and down a perfect fifth. Just as a little recap, and if you weren't there last week or the week before or whatever, the reason we transpose for certain instruments is because when they read a note, what comes out is a different note. Do you see what I mean? So cor anglais, yeah, like a sax, exactly. So the idea behind it is that once you can play an alto, a soprano or a tenor sax, if you put 3 fingers on, that's a G for every one. The difference is the sound that comes out will be different, won't it? Because the instruments are smaller and bigger. But the idea is so that once you can play one sax, you can sight read on all saxes rather than, but what we do is we have to change the key at the other end to pick that up and make sure the right note comes out. So what we're doing this, it's cor anglais, and they are in F. So obviously F is a fifth below C. So when they read a C, what comes out is an F below. So we have to then transpose it up a fifth so that the right note comes out in concert, if that makes sense. Right. So there's 2 ways of looking at this. So let me just move you lot out the way. Oh, right. So these passages, if you play a written C on an instrument in F, you will actually hear the F note, concert F. The French horn and cor anglais, so that's like a brass instrument in the, you know, in the orchestra, are most common instruments in F. The notes played by both these instruments sound a perfect fifth lower than the written notes. So they read a C, what comes out is an F below. So we have to transpose it up as fifth so that what comes out is a concert C, and therefore it's in tune with the rest of the orchestra that it's playing with. Both these instruments sound perfect notes, so their parts are written a perfect fifth above the concert notes. So what we have is that these passages are notated for next instruments. Write them out at concert pitch, i.e. a perfect fifth lower. Okay, so what we've got there is we've got the first, they've given us an example. So the first one, what key is that in with 4 flats? I'm testing your metal now.
A.
A what?
A flat.
A flat, because it's got flats in, hasn't it? A's got 3 sharps, so we have to make sure. So if I just bring up, one sec, a picture of the keyboard, you can see it a bit more clearly. So I'm going to share my actual desktop with you. Okay. So if I just bring up a picture of the keyboard.
Just give me 2 minutes.
Yeah, sure. That is a good one. Everyone see this picture of the keyboard, yeah?
Yep.
Just give Pete a second. Oh, no, it's a video. We don't want a video. So you can see that, can't you? Big enough, you can see the notes on it.
Yeah.
Okay, just give Pete a sec. So figure it out in your head then. If we are in A flat, which is this, and we're going to transpose it down a perfect fifth, what key are we going to be in? What key are we transposing it to? See if you can figure it out. So what you need to figure out is, what is A flat, the fifth of, what key?
Is it D sharp or E flat?
Not quite. You're in the right ballpark. Think of it as, the other way to think of it is 7 semitones back.
Oh, 7, okay.
From A flat.
So C sharp.
Yeah,
but we're in flat keys, aren't we?
Yeah, so, yeah.
Oh, D flat then.
So we're in D flat, yeah. So you can think of it as 7 a fifth. All right, Pete, you're right. So what it's asking you to do is transpose it down a fifth from A flat. Now, there's two ways to think about this. You can either think, what is A flat the fifth of? Which is a bit tricky because then you'd have to start going through keys in your head. Or you can move down 7 semitones from A flat. So this is A flat here where I'm hovering. And you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's what key you need to be in. So what key are we going to be in?
D flat.
D flat, well done. It's not C sharp because we're in A flat. So it's a flat key, isn't it? Okay, so if we move back to, that tells us that we're going to be in D flat. So the example has got D flat in it, which is great. Now, all you need to do for a fifth, say this one is on that line there, that F line, you move it down 2 lines. So you go ba, ba, and it starts on a G. If this one's on the space here, it goes down 2 spaces. That gives us a fifth. So that one's in the C space. We've gone down 2 spaces, ba, ba, and it gives us F. Yeah? This one's on the top line. So if we move down 2 lines, dink, dink, it's going to be on the middle line. Now, what we have to do, if there's an accidental in the original melody there, so we've got an E natural there, we have to account for that in the new melody. So for example, this is an E flat in the key signature and it's been made a natural note. So what have we done to that note if we go from a flat to a natural?
Sharpened it.
We've raised it by a semitone. So we have to do the same in the melody. Yeah? So in this new key, what we've got there is an A flat, and we've raised that by a semitone as well, so that makes that a natural. Does that make sense? Okay, good. So where would the next note go in then if we're transposing down a fifth? We've got this minim here, that's on a C. Where would we put it?
2 spaces below.
2 spaces below, excellent. So which space would that go in? Draw on it if you can.
I don't know how to do that.
Okay, I'll do it. So 2 spaces below would be this F here.
Be on that F space, wouldn't it?
On the F space, well done. So I'm just trying to draw. So it'd be here. Now you have to be careful with your stems here because this one goes down because obviously it's above the middle line. This one goes up now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're because the right key signature's in there, you don't really have to think about the notes. You just have to make sure the two lines or 2 spaces below. So this one's on this line, which is a D. So where will it go? What note will it go on?
What do you mean?
The G.
Yeah, good. So it's on a D line there, isn't it? We're going to pop it down 2 lines because it's a fifth. So it goes not that line, but that line. So it goes there.
The G there,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good. And then we put that in there. So this one's on a C. Where will that one go?
Down, back the same as the first one. Down to the F.
Exactly. So it's on an F. Okay, guys. Does someone want to take over? Chris, you're really quick at this, aren't you, usually? Not, because you haven't got the pointy thing. Okay, so this one's on a ledge line. This one's on an A. So we bring it down 1 line to there, and then we bring it down another line to there. So that'll be on a D.
That'll be
Well done, Chris. Yeah, that's the one. This one's on that space, so we go down 2 spaces. So that'll be there. Yeah, good. Yeah, excellent. Now we've got an accidental here. We don't have to worry too much about that accidental because we've dealt with it before there, haven't we? So we just copy this. Yeah. Make sure we've got a natural in, well done, and you've got your lines and all that. What else have you got to make sure you do with these melodies? What else have you got to make sure you do? Yeah. So Chris is putting them in there. So any musical markings that are in the first melody, you can see that they've done it there. So it's got allegretto, soft and singable. Cantabile means singable. Allegretto means it's a bit like allegro, fast, but it's even faster. Yeah. And so on and so forth. Now, Okay, if we just do the last bar then, so we've got another accidental here to deal with that we haven't done before. So we're going to move that down 2 spaces, so it goes there. Well done. Now this time what we need to do is look at the key signature, and it's flat in the key signature, it's also flat there. So what they're doing is affirming, they're going back to that from the bar before. So they've made it natural there, and now they're confirming it's going back flat. So you have to do that in your melody as well. Yep, does that one make sense? You also have to make sure that all the slares are in there. So that's all these fellas. Yep. So as you can see now, if I gave that to a cor anglaise player, they would play this, what you've transposed, they would read and play this, but the sound that come out would be this, would be concert. And then they would be in tune then with the rest of the orchestra, because we've picked up the tuning at the other end, if you like. They're just playing what's written, but it comes out sounding like that. Yeah, it's confusing, isn't it? It's a little bit confusing. Okay, so hopefully that's all right. Let's go then to the next handout, which, let's go back to the mouse, which is, where's my emails? There they are. So the next handout is this one. Okay, I'm just going to download it so I can make it bigger. It's really small, that, isn't it? Okay, can you all see that? Oh, the lights have gone out. Is that weird, or is it okay? I have to get up and move about. Like something off the Ring, don't I? Coming at your screen like a weirdo. Right, okay. So the next one is then, it's pretty much the same thing, but we're transposing them down a fifth. It's not giving us an example now. We kind of have to do it under our own steam. It's got a German term there at the top. Now, we had to Google this earlier because it's not something that you come across every day. Any guesses what you think it means? We had some guesses. What do you think schwer dumpf means?
Where's Jack when you need him?
I know Jack's good at this, isn't he? What do you think that means?
Play loud.
Yeah, I can see how it's it's
Dump with vigor.
with like the actions as well with vigor, yeah. It actually means like play it with like it's dead, like mournful, sorrowful, that sort of.
All right.
Like it's dead sound. If you make a dump, it reminds me of like a bass drum. That would be how I would describe the sound of a bass drum, wouldn't it? So it's like a dead sound. It's like make it dull.
Yeah, with it being German, it could literally mean anything. It could be play softly, or because the German language is just mad, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, at least Italian, we have half a chance of kind of figuring it out, don't we? But the German's completely different to English.
Like the most violent language could mean the nicest of things.
Yeah, it's not a romantic language, is it? Like French, it doesn't flow off the tongue.
Really.
It's a bit like you could be saying something really nice, but you sound like you're being awful to someone. So we're transposing these down a fifth again. Okay, so we've got schwer dumpf, which means like dead. Just play it like it's dead and hollow or sad. We got PP. What's PP mean? You know this, guys. You know what P means?
Play it properly.
Play it properly, yeah. It means P is quiet. P means quiet. When the piano was first invented, the actual piano, it was actually known as a piano forte. So it was known as a quiet and loud. Forte is loud. And then it got shortened because it was one of the first instruments where you could actually do that. You could play quietly and loudly. So piano means quiet. It's got a PP. So what do you think that means?
Play it quiet or play it quieter.
Even quieter, yeah. So P is quiet, PP is very quiet. That's the one. So what we need, sorry.
Forte loud.
Forte is loud. So if you get FF, it's very loud. And if you get FFF, that's very, very loud. So the more Fs or Ps you add, the more quiet or loud it is. I mean, it's all relative, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think in terms of music, what you're looking for, usually you might go from a PP to an F, and that just means you start playing it quieter and then you go louder. It's not a certain decibel level. So loud doesn't mean 80 decibels. It's in relation to what you're playing, isn't it? You know, if I got you all in a room and said, right, we're going to play loud, your idea of loud might be completely different to another band's idea of loud. So it's all relative to what you're playing and the piece of music. But for this one, we've got a PP. So that all would need to go in. But the first thing to do is to figure out what key we're going into. So are we transposing these down or up? Let me see. That was exercise 10.
Well, wouldn't B flat.
If we're going down.
We're in B flat. I'm just thinking because it's going to have loads of ledger lines there. Maybe the other handouts first. I don't think so though. No, it is. That's right. Okay.
But instead of having loads of ledger lines, if you were transposing it, could you not just use a different clef?
You could use a different clef. Yeah, I'll have to check that one actually because Steve mentioned something about that. I think you can actually use both. So it's up to you how you do it. You can actually use both. Yeah. Yeah. So if we're going down, it might be an idea. Let's put this one in bass clef, or you can use both. I think that's the idea. You can use treble or bass. So we're going to go down a perfect fifth. So the first thing to do is to figure out what the new key is. So I'm going to go back to our, remember you can think, what key were we in, Chris? You got that one right. What was it?
B flat.
We're in B flat because we've got two flats in there. So if we go back to our picture of the piano keyboard, B flat is here. Now you can either think what's B flat the fifth of, what key, or you can move back 7 semitones.
D sharp.
Sorry? Well,
D sharp.
D sharp you say, but we're in a flat key, aren't we?
So D or E.
E what?
E flat. There's no
E
sharp.
flat, yeah. So if we go back 7 semitones, we end up here. We can't call it D sharp because we're in a flat key. So we have to call it E flat, yeah? So what we're going to do is we're going to pop this one into the bass clef. So the first thing to do then is to put our clef in. So we do a bit of that. Come on. And then we have to put our key signature in for E flat. So what's the key signature of E flat? How many flats have we got?
3.
3 flats, well done. So we start here this time. So we go B, E, and A, put our flats in. Now, okay, so we've moved down 2 spaces historically, but what we need to figure out is where we're going to go. So, okay, if we moved this one down 2 spaces, it would look like that, wouldn't it? Below middle C, that's where it will be. So what note is that? We have to go back on the alphabet now. So that's a D, isn't it, in treble clef? So what note is that, do you think? So go back, D, C, B, A,
G.
G. It's a G. So we want to go the G below middle C on the bass clef. So there's middle C. So where will the G be? Remember, it's all cows eat grass in the spaces.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just... What are we transposing by? Is it a fifth?
A fifth. So yeah.
Right.
So we would go down to 2 spaces, wouldn't we? Because we're doing a fifth. You know, like we did on the last one. We were moving it down 2 spaces, weren't we?
Right.
So if it was there, we'd go there. If this
Right,
one's
so-
on the line, we'd go there. But we're
Cool.
changing clefs. So what we have to do, yeah, well done, Chris. So we've now got, it's on the G below middle C. Now all you have to do really is follow the pattern. So you can either do it that way, or you can think, right, okay, so from that note, that one's up a 4th. So we go 1, 2, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can put that up a fourth from G. So your name's just come up there, so there we go. So we can go 1, 2, 3, 4. So that one will be there. Yeah, does that make, is that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then it's the same line
Yeah,
again.
same line again. Now we've got no accidentals on this one, so it should be fairly easy to do. We don't have to think about everything. You're literally following the lines and spaces there. Do you see what I mean? So this is the same note, isn't it? So you just go across there, and then this is the same note, and then you go up a fourth, back down to that note, etc., etc. Do you want to have a go of filling some of that in, maybe? Can you draw on it, Peter?
I have no idea how to draw.
So you go up to the top where it says you are viewing Kelly's lesson, and it'll say view options,
Yeah.
and then you go and annotate.
Annotate, and then you should have a little thing where it says draw, mouse, stamp, whatever. So let's put some of these in. So what we got, G, don't forget your stems go the other way round. So that one should be the same note, good. Hey, Pete's on, great. And that one should be the same note as them. And then you put your tie across. And then where do we start next then?
Same line.
Same, so it's a C again. And then we'd have to start using a couple of ledge lines. Do you get the idea of that, folks?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that all right? So I don't want to dwell on that too much because obviously there's no accidentals there. So you're literally just kind of following the pattern. You can also put it in treble clef. So you can put ledger lines here. You could have done it down there if you want.
Mm-hmm.
So it's entirely up to you how you want to do it. That's fine.
Used like an alto clef, or obviously you can use any clef that you want.
Just treble and bass for cor anglaise.
Oh,
Yeah,
right, okay.
the alto clef is for the viola, so that's a very specific because of the range of the instrument.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a tricky one now. We've got some bits and bobs to worry about in here. This time we're in a sharp key. So, and we're also moving up a fifth again. So if we're in, we've got 5 sharps. What key are we in?
B.
B.
B, well done, fantastic. So what's B the fifth of? Or move back 7 semitones. What key are we putting it into?
E.
F
Well
sharp.
done, Liam. E, yeah. So we're in B. We move back 7, including all the black notes, Pete. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so we're in E. I think, oh, what have we done? Oh no. Oh no. Right, so I clicked on it, didn't I? Yeah, so you move back 7, or you can think, right, what's the fifth of E? It's B, isn't it? E, F, G, A, B. So you can think of it like that. I think it's easier to move back 7 semitones, figure it out that way, or move forward 7 semitones. Okay,
I
so
found a way with you know, the Father Christmas gets drunk after 8 bevies,
yeah,
beers or whatever. It's like, let's say you said.
it's the one
said
before,
B.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's the one before is the fifth of it.
Yeah, is the fifth of it, because it's the circle of fifths that. So you could go, if we're in B, you could go Father Christmas gets drunk after 8 bevies. It's the one before.
Yeah, it's the one before. Isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So there's a few, whatever works for you. I like the semitones, but whatever works for you. Okay, so what we're looking for now then is we're going to put this in E. Okay, so first thing we need to do is put our treble clef and stuff in. How many sharps have I got in E?
Oh, 4, sorry.
Yeah,
4.
like the telly channel, isn't it? E4, if you can remember that. So I'm going to put sharps in. It's really hard to draw them with this little pencil. I might just put some blobs in so you can get the idea. Right, there, my sharps. Okay, so you have to put your time signature in and all the bits and bobs. Can we remember what these sorts of things mean below the notes, guys? Remember what they are? They're just
That's
little,
staccato or
no, they're just accents, so it means you kind of emphasise the note. You know, it
Oh,
means
right.
I play it a bit harder than the other ones is all, so it's
Yeah,
a bit
makes sense.
like. So if I went da 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 da, the last note would be emphasised, wouldn't it? It'd have one of them under it because it's heavier. That's all that means. Okay, so we got 9/8 in there. Now we're moving this one down as well, so we should have possibly gone for bass clef there. Let's see, let's rub that out. So I'm going to put bass clef in. I thought we were moving it up for a minute. Right, okay. So going into E. Okie dokie, we've got 9/8 in. Now, okay, so this is dead easy, isn't it? Because the first note is a C. So we've got to go down two lines from that. So that would be that note. So what would that note be? We go C, B, A, G. What comes before G? It's an F, isn't it? So we need to start on the F below middle C, which is there. Okay, so that's our starting note. It does say it's a horn in F as well, so it makes sense. Right, okay, so what we're doing there now, that is, we're following the pattern. So the next one will be there. This time, we've got an accidental in there. So in the original melody there, we've got a D natural, although it's a sharp in the key. So what have we done to that note? In the key, it's a sharp, and we've made it a natural. So what have we done to it?
Lowered it.
Lowered it, great. So we need to do the same in the next one. So in this one, it's an E. In the key of E, no, it's not, it's a G. So in this key, in the key of E, is G sharp?
Yeah.
It is, so we need to naturalise this one as well, don't we? So whatever's been done in the original melody, you need to do to the new one. Okay, so the next one goes there, and we're literally just following the notes. Okay, we need to consider this one again. So we're there. Okay, so that's an F, natural. In the key signature, it's an F sharp. So we've lowered it by a semitone, so we need to do the same to this. So we've got a G there. In the key signature, it's sharp. So what do we need to do to it? We're going to lower it by a semitone. Shall I explain that again?
Go say it again.
Okay, so we're looking at this note here.
Okay.
Okay, in this key, what we've got is an F sharp because we're in B. It's been lowered by a semitone because it's a natural now. So what we need to do is look at the new note, which in this key is a, have I got that right? Hang on. So we should be looking at, yeah, that's right. So what we've got here is a B. In this key signature, the new one, we've got those notes sharp. So it doesn't affect the B, but we still need to lower it by a semitone. So what do we do to this then to lower it?
It'll be flattened.
So that one becomes a flat.
Flat accidental.
Yeah, so you'd have to, if there's an accidental in the melody, there's going to be an accidental in the new melody. You just have to see, right, what have they done to that note? Let's do it to that note as well, basically. Okay, so then this would be the same, because it's the same note. Okay, so the next one looks like this. So it's a C. That's this note I'm talking about now. Mm-hmm. Okay, so in this key signature, that's a sharp and it's natural. So what's been done to that note?
Lowered.
It's been lowered. So we have to lower this note as well. So in the key, it's sharp because it's a C sharp. So what do we do if we're going to lower it?
Put it a natural.
Well done. Perfect, yeah. It's good practice this because there's a few of them. Okay, so the next one's just up a note. So it's there. So we've got a D. In this key, it's an A sharp and it's been lowered again. So we've got a natural. In this key, it's a D sharp and we want to lower it. So what do we do?
Natural.
Natural. This is lagging a bit. I'm drawing it in and it's not coming out. Okay, and then we're kind of back to normal for a bit. Okay, I want you guys, I'm going to put that in there. I want you guys to figure out what this new note should be. So we're now in 6/8. Okay, we want to go 2 spaces down, or we want to go 1 down from this. So first thing is, where does it go on the stave? That should have a line through it. Yeah, so it sits on the top line, great. Now, what have we got there? What note is it?
B.
F sharp.
F sharp. Now what
Sorry.
they've done is, because they've got an F natural in the first bar, what they're doing is just confirming it's gone back to sharp, even though it's in the key signature. So what we have to do is just confirm that that's going back to whatever it was. So here it's a B flat. We need to make that go back to natural. So you put a natural sign in. Make sense?
Yeah, I always thought if it didn't have a natural sign in it, you play it in key.
Yeah, that is the rule. But if, I mean, they've just done that to confirm that it's, as soon as there's a bar line and it goes back to normal, we assume.
Yeah.
But that's like a confirmation. So if they've done it in the example, we need to do that as well, just so we don't lose marks on it. But that is the rule. When you have a bar line and it goes back to the key signature, doesn't it? It goes back to the original. Okay, so the next one then. It's got a sharp on it, so this note's been raised by a semitone. Okay. So in this key, it would be a C sharp, wouldn't it? Because C is already sharp. If we want to raise that by a semitone, what do we do?
You want to raise it again?
Yeah, well done, Christopher. Yeah, Christopher, giving you your formal name because it's got Toffer there. Well done, Chris. So we do a double sharp, which is the X. Yeah. So we get into double sharps now. Yeah, that note's exactly the same. And then so on and so forth. We've just got something new a little bit here, which is the FFZ. Do we know what that is? So we know what FF is, don't we?
Yeah, just super loud.
Super loud. So the Z just
Loud.
means forced. It's short for sforzando. So it means that it's super loud and kind of forced. So they've ended that note there. They've ended that little passage of music on a good old like, you know. I'm sure there's a technical name for it, but it means sforzando, which means loud and forced. Okay. So the next one's now hopefully a little bit easier, because what we're doing is we're transposing up a fifth rather than down. Okay, so let's clear that drawing. We're going to move up. Okay, so this time they've given us an example. And what we're going to do is transpose these extracts up a perfect fifth so that they would sound in concert pitch by played by instruments in F. Decide whether it's best to use treble or bass clefs. The beginning of A has been done as an example. So you get to decide which clef you want to use based on the melody. So if we're bringing this up a fifth, what are we going to do? If we're looking at this melody here and it's got to go up a fifth, what are we going to do?
Change the clef.
We're going to put it in treble clef, aren't we? Otherwise, you're reading a million ledger lines, so we need to move that up. So they've already chosen the right clef for us here. So they've basically, like we've done before, if it's on that space, he's gone 2 spaces up. So it starts there. Let's have a look going up a fifth then. So, okay, the original melody is in the key of D. It's got 2 sharps. we're going to go up a fifth. So what's our new key?
A.
Fantastic, Pete. Yeah, really good. So you can either just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you can go up your 7 semitones, which accounts for sharps and flats. So I'd do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're in the key of A. So he's got his 3 sharps in. Where there's an accidental, he's accounted for it. So on and so forth. So let's do a bit of this one then, just until, well, we've only got 3 bars. So this one here goes to there because it's the same note. Okay, now it looks like the next one has been lowered, doesn't it? So we have to think about that one. So the next one will be there because it's just up 2 lines. So there'd be line 1, there'd be line 2. Now we've got, what note is that, guys, in that top line? What note's that in the treble clef?
F.
It's an F, well done.
Oh, the
It's an
line.
F.
Right.
Now this has been lowered by a semitone, hasn't it? It's a B and we've gone down. It doesn't affect the key signature because that's just an F and a C sharp. So we don't have to consider that, it's a B flat. So in this key signature, we've got an F sharp. We need to lower this by a semitone, so what do we do? So it's an F sharp at the moment.
Oh, natural.
We need to make it natural because we have to think in D, it's got an F and a C and a G sharp, hasn't it? Okay, so then this moves along quite nicely then. We don't really have to think about what we're doing. It's all the same note. And it kind of does its thing. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I want you guys to figure out the last bar. So what do you think? What will it do? Where will this note go from going up a fifth? So 2 spaces up. Yeah, so it's on the top line. That's great. Yeah. There, because we've gone up 2 spaces. Next one's easy, isn't it? So we're there, and we go 2 lines up. So on Chris, I'll stick your stems in if you put the notes in. Great, okay. And then this one's attached to that one, isn't it? So we need to, yeah, great, okay. So that one looks like that. We have to make sure everything's considered in there. Okay, now we've got another tricky one there, but we've already dealt with it over here, haven't we? It's the same note. So what must you put in then if it's been lowered by a semitone? It's an F sharp. Yeah, so you've got to make sure you put your natural in. What else have you got to put in, folks? What else must you not forget to put in?
All the things underneath.
All the bits and bobs. So we started, we've got an F, which means what?
Forte. Play
Which
it loud.
means loud. Then it goes to what?
Piano.
Piano,
Quiet.
which is quiet. Well done, Pete. So what we've got there is we've got forte, then we've got a diminuendo, which means that it's getting quieter. And then it goes to quiet. We've got a crescendo there. What's a crescendo?
Very loud.
When it gets louder. Yeah, and then we've got a diminuendo there. So it's quite a dynamic piece of music. But you just got to remember, whatever you do to that, you've got to do to this, basically. Okay, so we do one more, folks. We've got about 10 minutes left, and then we'll have a chat about it. Okay, so what must we do then to this? What were we saying before? Because if we transpose this up a fifth, it's going to end up in the rafters, isn't it? And it's going to be pretty unreadable because we're on loads of ledger lines. So what do we need to do?
Change the clef.
Change the clef, well done. So I'm going to put a clef in. What key are we in with 3 flats?
A.
E.
Flat.
E flat.
Oh, E flat, sorry.
E flat. Okay, so we need to move it up a fifth. We're there. So what's the new key we're going to be in?
E flat.
B flat, well done. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we end up on B flat. I've done that again, I've bloody clicked it again. Okay, so we want to go into B flat. So how many flats are we going to put in there?
2.
2.
Well done. And then I need to put my key signature in, time signature even, and Allegro. What does Allegro mean? We've done this a couple of times.
I
Fast.
haven't done it.
Fast. Allegro, I said, well, if you remembered like legging it, you know, like a leg it row, then it means fast. It means going faster. So Allegro is fast. I know it's tragic, but you will remember it now, won't you? That's the thing, to commit it to memory. Okay, so we've got our FF, which means it's very effing loud, doesn't it? Okay. And now what we need to do is we need to figure out where this is going to start, don't we? So if we're going up a fifth, we need 2 spaces. So what is this note here? What's this note that's 2 spaces up? So this is a G, isn't it, in the bass clef? So A would be the line, then B, then C on the line, and then this one.
D.
It's a D, well done. But it's the D below. No, it's not. It's the D above middle C, isn't it, just? So we're going to start there, because that's the D above middle C on the treble clef. Yep. Okay, and then we follow it. So where does the next one go? Where will the next note go? So we're just going to go down 1. Well done. Go on middle C. Well done, Chris. Great. So the thing to do is check this occasionally as well. So if you think, okay, it should be on the 2 lines up. That's 2 lines up, isn't it? And it's middle C. So we're on middle C, so that's great. That's perfect. And then we go down to this one. So this one should be, let's see, 2 lines down from the last one. So it's going to be there. If you can see what I've done there, so this one's on that line, and this one's on the line below. So we've just added another ledger line and put it on the line below. This one's in that space, and so on and so forth. Okay, so we need to figure out, in fact, we'll finish this one. Go on then. Where does the next note go? So we'd have to go up 2 spaces, so that would be there. So we need to figure out what that note is. So it's going to be C, D, E, F. So it's going to be on an F. Well done. And then this one goes up 1 from that, doesn't it? So it's going to be on the G. Obviously, you need to put your crescendo in, which is this. Now, okay, let's have a little look at the last bar then, because we've got an accidental in there. So what we've got there is a C, and we're going up a fifth. So a fifth from C is going to be there on this ledger line. It's going up 2. And that is a G. The ledger lines just spell C-E-G. Keg. So the ledger lines above bass clef spell that. So we're on a G, so where does that go then? There, same as that one, isn't it? We've got a tie across.
I can't throw it, let me.
Okay, so it's this one we have to worry about here. Okay, so we've got an accidental there. So the first thing we have to figure out is what note it is. So if we've got, it's there, and we're going to go 2 lines above. So what note is that?
A. Oh, it's A on the first one. Is it an
Yeah, yeah, that's right. So we're in bass clef, aren't we? So we're reading what note it should be there. That's right,
C.
exactly.
And are we transposing up or down?
And then we're going up a fifth, so it'll be there, won't it?
So it'd be a D.
It's an E, isn't it?
Doesn't
That's
make sense.
middle C, isn't it? Because it's above bass
Oh.
clef.
Like transposing up. So A, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, good. So we've got, if it's going up 2 lines, we've got F, G, A, B, C. No, what am I on about? I'm reading treble clef now. I'm confusing you, aren't I? So we got
Yeah.
A, B, C, D, E, because we're in bass clef. And then we want to bring that now to the treble clef. So it's the E above middle C, so we're there. Now, what we've got there is, we've got a natural. Okay, so we've got an A natural.
Okay.
Now, in the key signature, it's an A flat. So what has happened to this note if we've made it natural?
It's been raised.
It's been raised by a semitone. Okay, so we'd also need to raise this one by a semitone. So it's an E flat in the key signature, B and E flat. So it's an E flat and we're raising it by a semitone. It becomes what?
Natural.
A natural. Well done. And then finally, we've just got this one, which moves 1 up from there. And that's it. Are you with me, Pete?
Yeah, sorry, I am, yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
It's because we're changing clefs, isn't it? Gets a bit trickier. So you've got to think.
Yeah, I completely grasp the concept and I understand how to do it.
Yeah.
My brain just can't do it quick enough.
Well, that's all right. You get loads of practice. This is in your books, this one, that I sent you out, you know, all that theory stuff. So what I would like you to have a go at, please, for next week is just the last exercise. Sorry, my boss is ringing me. Becky's ringing me. Hang on. Hello, Becky. I'm just doing a Zoom lesson. 1 sec. Yeah, for now, we can. Yeah. G28 2, G28 2 it is, and G. Yeah. No, I'm not in there this year at the moment. Yeah, please. All right, thank you. Bye. Just talking about arrangements for the rooms. So what I'd like you to do, please, for next week, it looks like I'm going to be free from 3:30 on a Friday. So I'd like to continue these lessons because there's no theory on the second year. You don't do theory on the second year. There will be bits incorporated into other modules, but you don't actually have a theory lesson. But I want you guys to be in a good position for uni when it comes to it. So I want you to be able to do your grade 5 exam, actually. So I'm just going to press stop on this one sec. So yeah, what you need to do is have a little go at that exercise for next week out of your books.
So,
because I just want to check that everybody's got a grasp of it. So it's this core anglaise one where you're changing the clef. I'm going to stop recording now.
what can we expect for this year?
I'll tell you now, hang on. Just trying to, do I have to unshare this just right? I have to stop sharing and then I can stop recording.